Alright, how's it going, everyone? This is Black Mamba 44 coming back at ya. We will be doing some more Tyranny. Wow, I blanked on that, huh? So we're going to be doing a little bit more Tyranny. Don't worry, it's not going to be too crazy. Well, I can't promise it won't be too crazy. But so last time we killed a lot of members of the disfavored to get into here. And we are going to be entering the Spire. I believe it is the Sunset Spire. This one's Mountain Spire, this one's Sunset Spire. So we're going to be entering the Sunset Spire. So let's go through this door. Let's check around Lethian's Crossing first for a little bit. And make sure that we're not skipping anything. We can talk to Eldian. Sunburnt man, an outsider never arrives alone. At least that is what my mother always said. Seems she knew what she was talking about. I'm Eldian. Welcome to Lethian's Crossing. Well, if it isn't Tunin's Fatebinder. Welcome back to the Crossing. Haven't seen you around here since you put the disfavored in charge of everything. Must say, my memory seems to be failing. Something I never thought I'd say. The way people talk about how you came through and drove the Brotherhood out of town, you should be 10 feet tall and shoot lightning from your eyes. I seem to remember you being a little more human. Can't always tell the content of a pie from its crust, though, can you? For instance, who would give the town to the disfavored and then walk in and kill them all? Not that I will miss the rules and schedules, but one has to wonder why you would switch sides so readily. But enough of my prattling. You didn't come here for a history lesson or to get my opinion of your grandeur. What can this old fool do for you? Can I ask you some questions about Lethian's Crossing? If you have questions about our settlement, I'm the one to ask. I have the dubious distinction of being the oldest living resident of Lethian's Crossing, so I've been here for a lot of its history. Eyes, hips, hair, and hearing might be failing, but my mind still remembers everything that happened here. What would you like to know about? I'll do my best not to go on too long about it. I know I have a problem keeping my conversation short. What can you tell me about the Spire? There's no getting used to it. You'd think after years of living under its shadow that your nerves would calm, but that never happened to me. You can only be so relaxed when your neighbors are the bane. The moment you let your guard down around one of those old walls, my friend, you are done. Now, Lethian wasn't completely mad to settle here. She ventured inside and found sealed passageways that made it impossible to wander too far beyond the entrance. She figured that meant that the Bane couldn't easily reach us either. Whoever created this monstrosity wanted us to stay out, and that's exactly what we've done. It hasn't been a perfect arrangement. There have been incidents, but for the most part, the Bane don't venture out so long as you don't venture in. We just have to stay vigilant every day. Can I enter the old walls? Must you enter? Surely there's another. Nobody will stop you, Fatebinder, if that's what you mean. If you have business inside, I can only assume that must be an important matter. The old walls are unpredictable, plain simple. Bane may leave you to be today, but I'm not the sort to gamble when it comes to those abominations. How have your interactions with the Scarlet Chorus been? Can't say that I have a strong opinion one way or the other, really. They didn't seem to care much about leaving the settlement behind. Once the decision was made to let the disfavored have control, they left and I haven't seen much of them since. So tell me what you think about the disfavored. Strict curfews, frequent searches, and no forgiveness for missed iron and grain quotas. That's the ill of it. But the sentries keep constant vigil and treat us with respect, politeness even. Most of them call me elder and bow. If someone's going fishing in your pocket and taking your crops, may as well be kind about it. The disfavored are committed to honor and dignity in all dealings. That's so. I've seen the disfavored impale a man for insulting your precious grave and ash. I've seen them hang prisoners for eating rats when their food ran low. At least the Scarlet Chorus doesn't have any delusion about cruelty. We do it because it's fun. Honor goes both ways, you balding witch. Those who flaunt the offerings of Kairos' peace find no solace in the Legion. It's definitely not the situation I would have chosen, but things can always be worse. The water might be up to your knees, but it can always be up to your nose, is what my grandmother would tell me. So, what of the forge-bound? They toil away in their forge houses day in, night out. Kairos' forces keep them well guarded since they know how to work binding ore into weapons harder than steel or bronze. stone or bronze. I've delivered food and kindling to the forge houses, never had much contact with the artisan mages. What about the Earthshakers? If you have passed in recent times, all heading south to the Stone Sea, at least that's word of it, the mages didn't stay for long. And I'm glad they kept on traveling. If some madman cast a spell that cracked the foundation of the old walls, praise Kairos, it hasn't happened. What about the Bronze Brotherhood? So they were here since the crossing was founded. Lethian herself hired them to protect the settlement when it was just getting started. Fledgling town in the shadow of the old walls. They did such a good job, she kept them on as our peacekeepers, and that's how things went. At least until you decided to oust them, put somebody else in their place. Can't say I wouldn't have done the same, truth be told. Taking pay from two employers is always going to end badly if you can't make both of them happy. Top of that, it seems lately that Radamon is traveling a path no one can see, and I don't want to see what's at the end of it. Ask you about the crossing's history. There's a lot of shit here. So, we'll do the important one. Why does the Brotherhood want Lethian's Crossing? Land, breeding stock, they've been here longer than I have, so maybe they consider it home too. But Kairos' purse masters are no longer paying them to fight, and if a mercenary is killed for free, something's suspect. In the end, I suppose it doesn't matter. Radamon will never let go. He feels he owns this town, he aims to have it be his. Ask you something else, other questions, I'm going to be on my way. So he said we can go into the old walls. If you recall, going into the old walls is actually illegal because, you know, you're not supposed to enter a place that Kairos hasn't created, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go in anyways. We're going to go in, but first, I want to enter another building and see if the person I think is there is still there. So there's another building, there's another house, it's right here, and we can enter here. This might be the forge-bound area, I think. It might be, I don't know. It is. But if you look, there's Siren. Oh, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. This isn't the forge-bound area. It's a settler. Forge-bound won't sell anything to us settlers. Okay. Siren.
Well, look who's here. And what brings you to Lethian's Crossing? Can't imagine it's the scenery or the quaint locals. Have you come to spoil my fun? Tunon probably insisted you find me, didn't he? Because we can't let Siren have any fun, can we? Let's control her. Let's tell her what she can and can't do. Let's use her to destroy nations. But enough of that talk. What do you think of my followers?
Very nice, as long as you don't let it get out of hand.
Oh, stop that, Fatebinder. It's not like I'm hurting anyone. Well, at least not yet.
Alright, so we can say enough of this, Siren. I want you to join me. Someone with your power needs help directing it.
Why on earth would you want that? I can't imagine you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. Oh, Tunon must have had a hand in this. Or Nerat. Maybe I'd rather stay here where people won't insist on ordering me around all the time. Although, you did activate one of the Spires, so your power is something I could learn from, and you are right. I'm certainly not going to make any significant advances staying here with a bunch of nobodies worshipping me. Watching you in action could give me the edge I need to unlock a Spire of my own. Fine. I will allow you the glorious gift of my presence in your party. Well then, let's go. If you're gonna teach me the wonders of the world, it's not gonna happen here.
Alright, so now Siren's in our party. I don't know if I broke that. I'm pretty sure I didn't, though. And I say I don't know if I broke that because she did mention, like, oh, like, Tunon sent you or the voices of Nerat. I think that's something that happens, but not really. So it's just sort of like, you just sort of enter and these people are like, yeah, you know, if you want to come with me, then you can come with me. So let's click up here. Let's first get some of this so we can get some of these cool items. Let's sell some of our stuff too. Actually, no. I'll do that on my own time. So I'll probably come down here after we go through the spire for a little bit, and then I'll sell everything. Oh, we found something hidden. Nice. There's a settler just sitting there. We have another scroll. Good riddance to those uptight beast rudders. So there's a bunch of areas. There's Biotis, who's forge bound. There's more forge bound up here. We are going to come in. I don't know why someone would go up there, but we are going to enter the spire. That's weird. It says characters become wounded when they're knocked out, but... Oh, look, there's someone over here. Might as well take their stuff. All they have is a disfavored buckler. That's a disfavored iron shield. Floor stones have been broken recently. Bits of metal nearby. It's a result of a careless soldier. So that's subterfuge. There's a bow. Okay. That might be useful for bursts, right? Alright. So we'll take a charcoal rubbing of the interesting rune. Alright. As we work, Lantry hovers near. See how the pattern looks broken along two edges? I think there's more to the engraving than what's here. Then we'll look for more. Agreed, if we collect enough sketches and imprints, we could no doubt reconstruct the original image in its entirety. So, you can construct it in its entirety right now. Actually, I'm sorry. You can, so you can look at the charcoal rubbing, which we'll do, just so I can maybe show you guys what it is, unless I don't have it. Maybe not a quest item. Might be misc. Huh. There it is, I think. Yeah. So it's the incomplete charcoal rubbing. So we see that it's sort of like that. So we look at that and we can sort of see. So the door creates near perfect seal. You see several chips and several gouges. So no one's opened it. Eerie glow of unknown origin come from the depths of that pit. And there's more.
You see what I see?
Here. So we'll take that. We'll also go up here. Take everything here. Since we have camping supplies that's in the wall. Good spot. We'll camp really fast, and then we will take everything we can. Note from Iron Guard Vintara. As per our verbal agreement, you're allowed entry into the old walls at Lethian's Crossing with the explicit instructions to find a path to the bronze-weathered campsite on the other end. Any items acquired inside the old walls will be yours to keep in exchange for your help in this matter. Take it. So that's useful for a trial of Archons. So we'll take another ruby. Venture your party before gathering forth. Now, to fully get the rune...
My mother always told me to stay away from spires. Not that I ever listened.
So. It immediately reminds you of Ascension Hall. An intricate rune running along the floor can only mean one thing. You stand at the feet of a great spire. Each step you take echoes across a great distance. As you gaze upward, sage-colored walls quickly give way to unending blackness. Rune in the center of the floor is inactive, and the silence in the hall offers no clues as to its use or function. Hold on a moment. If my sense of direction is at all reasonable, we are standing below the spire in this region. What do you recommend? He points to the pattern on the floor. I'd start with the grooves and stones on the floor over there. If it's like the spire at Vendrian's wall, whomever built this created a mystical conduit to the top, and I think it very, very unlikely that the pattern is purely decorative. Let's press on. Okay, so let's take another charcoal rubbing. It seems likely that the completed design is symmetrical in nature. Should the need arise, you can reasonably guess its original shape. Alright. So if you don't fully comprehend what that's trying to say, not that I'm calling you stupid or anything, but I'm just sort of mentioning that, you know, they're giving you a lot of information with charcoal rubbings and things. Show me everything, then go here. No, here. Yes. Right click. So, it's essentially saying that there's that, there's that, there's that, there's that, and then you go down and up. And they're saying that the full design is a mystery, but, you know, you could probably guess what it's doing. So, I actually think that we can have it up. I don't know why I'm taking it down. Yeah, we can. So,
if I had a copper ring for every glyph I've sketched today.
You start here, you go up here. Click here again, you go right here. Click here, you go here. Click here again, go here. Alright. So then it's either that, or it's a little bit bigger. Might be a little bit bigger. I think I can sort of see a circle in there. Let's just see, right? Let's see. Alright, so that's starting to look like it. And yeah, there's no way that's all the way over here. So what I think is this circle needs to be complete. And there we go. Alright, so I don't know if everyone can see, but you can see the faint outline of a circle. It's right there. I didn't do this from like, oh, I have the design in front of me. I can see it. So we have activated this spire. This is our second spire. And we fly up again. This one doesn't have any crazy things. Arcane light courses skyward. Feel the ground ripped out from beneath you yet again. Awareness stretches beyond the limits of the spire, pulling in many directions at once. The light you saw arcing through the sky reminds you of a tether you feel on top of Vendrian's well. This too is a point of connection, and we are part of it, bound as surely as the spires are to each other. Sunset Spire and Lethian's Crossing feels burdened by its age, as if a central linchpin somewhere in its core has weathered the centuries of oppressive weight and longs to topple. The surge of energy that courses through you, forming a link with Vendrian's well, strengthens the very stones beneath your feet. The structural weakness you detected vanishes, replaced by confidence that could keep this tower standing for millennia. And tell me where you're writing from, and how to reach you, and I will send you an iron ring for your troubles. He signs his name with a flourish. I had this idea of a message in a bottle without the bottle. Maybe it'll work. If I threw a dagger from here, I wager it could split a man on the ground in half. Damn, but I want to try. From here, even the old walls seem paltry. The sovereign view was not intended for the likes of us. Spire feels like a relay between you and Vendrian's well. grow aware of whispers all around you, so listen closer. Seem to travel between the tether between you and your spires, conducting heat. They speak of your actions, your choices, everything that led you to this place. Your name is known, your banner recognized, your deeds reported across the tiers in the Northern Empire alike. For an instant, you can see the accumulated hope and fear these whispers represent. It appears like dewdrops settling on a leaf, then trickling into a shared basin. This image is fed to you through your connection, a base metaphor that only hints at the true scope. There is power in these spires, though its source is unfamiliar. Were you to harness it, you suspect that nothing would stand beneath your reach. Alright, unlocking the spires seems to have opened some deeper connection. 11 lore. I don't know what you've done, but standing near you warms my rusted plates. Makes me feel lighter somehow. Curious, I'm noting something I observed at the Spire in Vendring's Well. There's a mystic hum and it has little beats when you walk, tiny fluctuations when you talk. Unless my senses are deceiving me, you and the Spires are mystically tuned to each other. Most fascinating indeed. You look taller somehow, like you would command a dozen gangs without any challengers to knife you in the back. So we got the Sunset Spire, and we can put a library, training grounds, a forge if we wanted. Once built, resting in any spire grants a bonus to armor, parry, and dodge. So we could build that for 10 rings. Maybe that's not a bad idea, huh? But someone leveled up, and it's Lantry. So let's give him some more spell strength as well. Let's go in. Let's keep going. Preservation. So what's this? Passage of Hours. Maybe. First things first. Let's get a greatly improves control life sign. Sigil. Skill. Jesus. Sign. Sigil. Skill. Alright, so now we have this thing. So we have Sigil of Life, Sigil of Force, and Sigil of Illusion. R plus 20. Healing Wisps. And this is accent that reduces the cooldown of spells. It's not too bad. Maybe, right? That's not too bad. Restore large amounts of health to the target. We'll assign that to myself. I don't feel bad about having a secondary role as a healer. So Vendrian's Well. Oh, sorry about that. That's my alarm to go work out. So, two you have claimed have proven to be a valuable asset to the war effort, and the tiers claiming the rest should help you widen your conquest. Then we have a missive from Fatebinder Rogalus on the subject of the Spires. My dear Linux, the court is all abuzz with the news of the Civil War. Representatives from the chorus and the disfavored are having little shouting matches in front of Tunin. The petitioners to the court seem swept up in talks of who will crush whom, if and when Tunin will bring down the gavel to stop the fighting. What has me more intrigued is the other story out of Vendrian's Well. Tunin sends you on what I thought was going to be a one-way trip to the well. Not only do you live, you somehow claim the mountain spire. And you broke Kairos' edict too. Such things make a little civil war seem so trivial in comparison, at least to those who can separate the message from the noise. Tell me, what was it like to break the edict, and how is it you took control of the spire? Fatebinder Rogalus. So explain the experience as best you can. So what we write is, Dear Rogalus, Kairos' edict simply said that an agent of the Overlord must claim Ascension Hall before Kairos' Day of Swords. The only thing I consciously did was take charge of the battle to claim Ascension Hall. My claiming of the spire happened just moments after I felt the edict script release. The floor of Ascension Hall gave way, unearthing a glowing pattern buried beneath the chamber floor. Kairos only knows how long it's been buried under the tile. As for how I actually claimed the spire, it is perhaps a mutual bond. Atop the spire is an old structure, a twin-tinned edifice. I'll include a sketch on the back of the parchment. The structure spoke to me in sensations and images, and seems to respond to my presence in some limited capacity. That is what happened, as best as I can think to describe it. Does any of this sound familiar, or bring to mind any old stories or rumors? Linux. Send it. 24-hour response. So this is where missives come back in. Oh, wait. And it looks like we can talk with Verse. So we'll do that. Our gang has been quite the little collection of spires, aren't we? The Voices of Narat was never one for keeping strongholds, but I can definitely see the appeal. So why doesn't the Voices like strongholds? Because there's no point in standing still. The Voices prefers to keep its forces busy and on the move, with the only restful hours between dusk and dawn. Besides, fighters in motion are less likely to rise up and challenge authority. Safety in numbers, but once you get people hunkering down to discuss their problems, suddenly everyone has a reason to kill the closest gang boss. What do you think of these spires? They're big, but make no mistake, a determined army could knock one down if they got enough shovels and picks together. Don't be so quick to assume that you're invincible. As to what they are, I try not to ask those sort of questions. So
What do you need?
Questions for you, we'll talk again later. Alright, so let us leave. So there's instant travel there, instant travel to Lethian's Crossing, right? So we can't go to Iron Hearth, so we can't go to this spire. But there's a spire here, there's a bastard city, there's our spire. Now if we want to get to Cacophony, right? That's Burning Library entrance. Still have no idea why we can't get to the spire, but that's fine. We can travel to the mountain spire, and it's instant. It's actually, no, it's 15 minutes. So if we go to Cacophony, it'll take us 2 days, 3 hours. So I think that we will do that next time. On that note, I think that we will save right here. I just want to thank everyone for watching this episode. Next time we will be going to the Voices of Narat and inquiring about him. Other than that, you know, we are going to be still playing some more Tyranny, at least until we finish the game. I hope that everyone here has a great day. And on that note, this is Black Mom 44, out.